And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. A great program today. You can call with your car questions at 888. But first, let's talk about trends which are transforming mobility with far-reaching and widespread implications for countries and consumers all around the world. The age of autonomy, connectivity, electric, and sharing, that's ACES, is upon us and promises to transform the world of mobility to a greater degree than even Henry Ford and the Model T did more than 100 years ago, according to a global report from McKinsey Co. entitled Mobility's Second Great Inflection Point. With us on the Car Clinic Hotline today is Stefan Knupfer, Senior Partner of McKinsey Co. to talk about some of those trends. Stefan, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. I understand you're from the Washington Auto Show today, so we want to welcome you into the house.
Thank you so much, Bobby. And it's really exciting to be actually on the phone with you.
Stefan, share with our Car Clinic listeners and viewers the trends that are transforming mobility's future.
So I think there are 4 trends that we see, and we call them ACES. And exactly as you said, they are autonomy, connectivity, electric, and sharing. And each of these trends are, actually are by themselves very, very strong and actually exploding already. Now, what we see is primarily in a city environment that all of them come together. And if they come together, they are like a revolution, and they change the industry in a way that we haven't seen the last 100 years.
Wow. What impact will this mobility transformation have on society?
A significant one, but honestly, I believe most important, a very positive one. And that's exactly why whenever I talk about it, I like to go to the end state of what we call the future of mobility. It will be significantly safer, easier, less expensive, more environmentally friendly for anybody to go from point A to a point B. So we are not necessarily talking about car ownership. It's more like the desire of a customer to move from point A to B. And very often, I think the first we will see probably on highway, and the second probably where we will see it is very quickly that we will see is in cities.
Understand. We're talking with Stefan Knupfer, Senior Partner of McKinsey Co. So, Stefan, I understand you're calling live from the Washington Auto Show. What's going on at the D.C. Auto Show this week?
So obviously we have wonderful cars here, but I think the most important thing is actually that we right now are here in Washington is the connection between public and private investors. Because as I mentioned, urban mobility is really, really exciting and is also necessary because our current system is 100 years old, but it generates a lot of congestion and pollution. Now, if we add more people, because more people will move into cities, if we add internet sales, which means more goods needs to deliver, the current system doesn't work anymore. With the new technologies, we have an opportunity to honestly have a much more seamless mobility as we described. And being in Washington is the unique opportunity to connect public and private investors on this, because this is exactly what we need to make this happen.
So, Stefan, electric vehicles have been around for years, as we all know, but what will it take for EVs to become more mainstream for consumers and profitable for automotive companies?
So mainstream for consumers, I do believe there is actually specific kind of areas where they are already very exciting. So I think what we have seen that Tesla owners obviously like their cars, they like the acceleration, they like the idea that they pretty much, if they can charge overnight, that they start with a full tank and something like this. So therefore, there is already a lot of excitement around it. The next thing is obviously the profitability. If you see kind of how the battery costs are coming down, this is significant and much faster than anybody would have forecasted. By the way, this is exactly the same thing on any new kind of technology. If you think about wind or solar, also in battery, all the forecasts are always kind of a little bit more pessimistic than reality really is. And you see all the money that goes into it. And then last but not least, the excitement is also that you have to get actually smog and pollution out of cities because it's not healthy anymore. And a very simple way to do this is obviously that you change from combustion engines into electrical vehicles in cities.
Well, that brings me to my last question, Stefan, and that's a hard question because I'm a car guy. I love cars. Share with our Car Connect listeners and viewers your take on the possibility, and I say the possibility, that perhaps I bought my last car that I'll drive, and the next one will be driverless. That sort of makes me think of the Jetsons and brings to life what we've seen on the screen. So what's your take on all this?
So, excellent question. And to be quite honest, I share something with you. I'm German. I'm a car fanatic. I have led our automotive practice at McKinsey for many years. So I love driving cars. I have actually old classic cars. I drive stick shift. I like driving fast, which probably I'm not supposed to say. So the fantastic thing is that I believe it's not going to be kind of a switch. We right now drive a car, and tomorrow we drive the autonomous vehicle. It's much more smooth, because if you think about ADAS system, autonomous driving assistance systems, like your lane control, like the distance control, like the brake assistance, all of this is in modern cars already, which makes us significantly safer. And we cannot trust exactly those autonomous vehicles very much. One example that I like to see is, think about, I'm living actually in the suburbs, need to go to the cities. I have a winding road actually from my house. I like driving fast my car. I will drive myself. The moment I get into the city and I drive 5 miles an hour, stop and go, I hate doing this. So I give actually hand over to the car on the autonomous vehicle, and all of a sudden I become very productive. I can talk to my family, I can start working, which means it frees up time for things that I really want to do. So therefore, think about this, that you have many more options than what you have before, and it's not kind of limiting yourself.
I think that's an excellent overview, and it sort of brings to light the future, if you will, and it appears that the future is here. Stefan Knupfer, Senior Partner of McKinsey & Company. Stefan, thank you so much for your insight. Thank you so much for joining us on Bobby Likis Car Clinic today.
Thank you so much, Bobby, for having me.